Hello, and welcome to another episode of When the Heart Calls, where each week I reflect on my journey of what it is to soften and listen more deeply to our heart's calling. I'm Jasmine, and today's topic is honing the discernment of surrender versus controlling our experiences. As always, take what resonates and let the rest fall away. These are merely my experiences, the method I'm honing to navigate this world of being human. So why this is on my mind today is I am practicing truly surrendering versus controlling the experience of life. I have come to believe and have full faith that the universe, the infinite intelligence that we are and is all around us, is far more creative than the human ego of me could possibly imagine. And I have a choice. I could either grab the reins, grab the wheel, and control it best I can for as long as I can to where I think I want to go, how I think I want it to unfold. But how much more exciting and creative and exhilarating and awe-inspiring might it be if I could surrender and allow it to unfold with faith. I'll begin by saying, what does it look like what does control look like? So control often looks like challenges, exertion. I've used the phrase in other episodes of rowing against the current, enduring, hanging in for an experience, staying longer than we need to, perhaps, needing to earn what we're doing through incredible hardships. And I'll pause there because I do believe we have to hone a discernment between what is a hardship of staying too long versus doing challenging things to stretch our skills and abilities. That's something I can't answer for anyone else. I only can recognize it in myself. But the other thing that is associated with control, which is linked to the ego wanting to control the journey, is an attachment to an outcome. It's wanting it to unfold a certain way or have an agenda, or instead of staying present, it's predetermining how you want it to unfold. And I'm just practicing. I'm really embracing the practice and the joy of what if I surrendered and put the ego in the back seat, took the hands off the wheel, and watched things unfold. So this came up for me because I started I was having trouble discerning something that I was giving my energy to. And so the very fact that that was coming up for me was signaling that maybe this is a place I need to look at more. The very idea of questioning that was a small seed of maybe this is something to look at a bit deeper. So I actually said a I set an intention, a prayer, and basically asked the universe, all right, then help me with discernment on this. Let me see this more clearly, what's happening. And in a way, I pulled myself back a little bit and I watched over the next few days, and incredibly, messages were passed through people. What that's like is, I don't know, someone may say a phrase or say something to you, and you pause for a second and go, that hit me a funny way. And then later that day or the next day, a similar or almost exact same thing is spoken by someone else, and it makes you pay attention at another level. So I'd had a few of those. I was also blessed with some dreams, and I was blessed with observing human behavior around, I don't know, it's just some things I was being active with. And as I stepped back and assessed all these little, I call them spiritual breadcrumbs, little reflections back to me, messages from the universe, I realized, oh, I am in the enduring pattern, and there is some ego in here where I want this thing too much. I am trying to control how it unfolds as opposed to leaving the pathway up to the universe. I had a timeline with it. I wanted things to happen in a certain time. And so I let go. I said, okay, I see that. I'm going to honor that. I will let it go. And in that act of letting go, it tapped into the emotion of, I don't know if it's grieving or I was emotional about letting go. And in that moment, I realized, oh, I was attached to this. I had not stayed in what I call neutral and was coasting with it, but I had an attachment to how this was going to happen. So that was the icing on the cake. I knew it was the right decision to let go of that. And that doesn't mean that by recognizing that I'm stepping away from that desire. The desire's still there. I just respect that the way I was approaching it and going about it, or even how it unfolds, may look very different. And I can't imagine that, which is part of why we hold on, is we feel more comfortable with controlling it. And so I accepted to step into that change, step into that faith, which, by the way, it was calling me to deepen my faith with more humility, without the ego, with a deeper trust of the universe, of timing, of where I'm guided now. And so, in closing, in summary, I'll leave you with the thought of, what do you choose? If you're gripping on and enjoying control of your journey, what might you be missing by surrendering to infinite possibilities and deepening faith that the universe, that our higher selves know exactly the path of least resistance and joy and fulfillment and peace for our souls? Thank you for listening. Take what resonates, let the rest fall away, and may you enjoy and be grateful for this miraculous journey, and listen more deeply when the heart calls.